Yes. So, uh, okay. Uh, the 2019 batch students. Okay. So, welcome to third semester. And I am Sri Ganesh TG, Assistant Professor from Department of Mechanical Engineering. And I will be handling uh, computer aided machine drawing, which we shortly call it as CAMD, okay, for the B2 batch students, okay, right, for B2 batch, okay. Just like EGDL, how you all had B1 and B2 batch, okay, so for CAMD, we have totally 3 batches. B2 batch will be handled by me, all right. So, uh, okay, so let's start off with the uh, subject. Okay. Okay. So can all of you see the screen? I've shared one PDF document.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Can you see the screen? I've shared one PDF document regarding your about the syllabus.
Yes, sir, we can see.
Yes or no? Can anyone reply, please?
Yes, sir, we can see.
We can see, sir.
Yes. Can anyone reply? Can you see the screen? I've shared a PDF
Yes, sir.
document.
Yes, sir.
We can see the screen.
Yes, sir. It's seen.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, can you see? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir. We can
Yes, sir.
see.
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So yes. So the first thing before I start off with the syllabus uh, is that in the second semester, that is in the first year of engineering, you all have studied about the engineering drawing. Okay, where you studied about points, lines, then planes, solids, and then isometric. Okay, so now this computer aided machine drawing is an extension of EGDL. Okay, right, but here we will be dealing more with machine components. Okay, machine components specifically. Okay, whereas in EGDL we learned the basics of drawing. We learned how to draw a plane. Learned how to draw a solid in different views. Okay, now we will go in the next step. Okay, we'll go a little bit in deeper. Okay, to see how we can draw a particular machine components. Okay, and how it should be represented. Okay, right. So it includes, as usual, where we have to draw it on the sketchbook as well as do it on the system using Solid Edge software. Okay, right. Okay, so let's go on to the syllabus. So computer aided machine drawing subject code is 18ME36A. Okay, 36A because we are learning it in third semester. Okay, right. Okay, so weekly, right? As per the timetable, we'll have the classes. Okay, and internal marks carries 40 marks, and external marks for 60 it will be evaluated, right? I mean, for that will be how it will be calculated when you get it onto the marks card. Okay, but on in the internal marks will be 40, but in the exam, semester end exam, you will get the question paper for 100 marks. Whatever you score will be reduced out of 60. Okay, right. So here we don't have it in module 1, module 2 and all. We have it in part A, part B and part C, 3 parts. Okay, so the first part, part A, where the first thing that comes into the thing is about the introduction, okay, and to the drawing, machine drawing. So basic sketching commands, that is how to draw a line, arc, circle, which we have already learned in EGDL, okay, drawing units, okay, and then simple machine parts, okay, with or without the section, okay. So we'll see that. So the first thing that comes into picture, the first chapter is
Sir, can you
about,
come? Sir, can you
yes,
come again on the last statement? I couldn't hear you.
okay, right. So the first thing is about general introduction about drawing, that is how to draw a line, arc, and so on things. Okay. The first chapter
Okay.
that we'll be going into is about the orthographic projections. Okay. Orthographic projections of simple machine parts. Okay. So you had say what is this orthographic projections is that in EGDL you had one chapter isometric projections, right? Okay. So you used to draw the three-dimensional view of the object. It could be a cube or it could be a pyramid. Okay. Right. So like that isometric drawing will be given. Okay. And for that particular isometric drawing, that projection that has been given, we have to draw the front view, top view, and side view. Okay, we have to go it in the reverse way now. Okay, so they will give you the three-dimensional drawing. We have to draw the two-dimensional one. How is it going to look in the front view? How is it going to look in the top view? How is it going to look in the side view? Okay, and with or without the section. Okay, so two things are there in this. One is with and without section. What we have seen till now is without section, that is in isometric projections. With the section also we have, I'll cover it up later. Okay, so we have two subsections in this, drawing the machine parts. Okay, right. So the next chapter that is going to be here is section of solids. So in EGDL we have learned about projection of solids. Okay, how to draw a prism, how to draw a pentagon prism, then hexagon prism, then pyramids, right? So on. So now here we have about a cut portion of that. We are going to take a cut portion of a pentagon pyramid, okay, and we have to draw as per the given requirements or whatever is being asked in the question. Okay, so a portion of the solid is what we have to draw. There will be a section of solids. That means the cutting conditions will be given. We have to draw it as per that cutting conditions, okay, and then do the remaining portion whatever has been asked. So we have it for pyramids, then prisms, cubes, tetrahedron, right, cones, cylinders. Okay, so all these solids we have done it in projection of solids in EGDL. Okay, now we are going to go with the sectioning of that, okay, and meeting the required conditions as per the given question. Right. Now the next thing is about yes, conversion of pictorial views into orthographic projections. Yes, that is what I told over here. The first chapter is the orthographic projection of simple machine parts. So hidden line conversions, precedence lines, all this I will cover it up in the orthographic projections chapter itself. Okay, right. So the next thing that we have over here is that yes, conversion of pictorial views into orthographic projections. Nothing but conversion of isometric drawing into two-dimensional drawing. That is front view, top view, and side view for simple machine parts. Okay, with sectional planes. Okay, so this also I'll cover it up in the same chapter. I will take orthographic projections in the beginning. Okay, and then I will go to section of solids. So the third chapter that we have over here is thread forms. Okay, so we already know some of the thread terminologies. Maybe you would have studied in physics partly, right? So what are these threads? We have seen this nuts and bolts. Okay, and how to draw this nut and bolt. Okay, how to draw this nut and bolt. So before going to that, we have the threads onto the bolt. Okay, we have the thread onto the bolt. So we have different types of threads. Okay, so how to draw those different types of threads, all those little bit small calculations are there, and based on that calculation we will also draw the thread forums also. Okay, so with that we will be associated with the thread terminologies, which is very which some of them we know, like the crust, pitch, and all such terminologies. Okay, so we have different types of threads. One is the ISO metric thread, then British standard Whitworth thread we have, square thread we have, Acme threads we have, Sellers thread is there, American standard threads are also there, right? So there are different types of threads where they have different calculations. This square thread will have a totally different shape itself, even in Acme thread also. So we'll see how to draw these different types of thread that has to be represented in drawing format. Yeah. And then after going to this is the next chapter we have about the fasteners. How should we draw a nut and a bolt? Okay, with washer or without washer, a hexagonal nut, okay, a hexagonal bolt, square headed nut and bolt. Okay, we have here square headed bolt and nut with washer. Okay, and simple assembly using stud bolts. Okay, with with nut and lock nut. Yeah. So we have something else which is a little bit extended version of nuts and bolts is the stud bolts, a different type of bolts. Okay, so different drawings are there which we represent. Okay, for that. So how do we draw all these things? Okay, technically. Okay, right. So not a rough drawing. And as an engineer, we have to draw these things. Also, we have it for flange nut, slotted nut. Okay, tapered nut, split pin. Okay, for locking. Right. So we have different types of nuts and bolts. So that we'll be doing in this chapter, which is the fasteners. So all these chapters, that is orthographic projections, section of solids, then thread forums and fasteners, all these will come in part A. Okay. Now, in part A, as per the question paper, what we get in the exam, okay, the semester and the exam, part A, you'll be having one that we'll have to attend one question which will be for 25 marks. Okay, which will be for 25 marks. Okay, right. So we'll have to be very careful about that. Okay, right. And then we have part B, which is about the keys. Okay, parallel key, taper key, how to draw these keys. Okay, this is very much required to, which is used for couplings and all. I'll tell you what is a coupling and joints. And then we have the next chapter is the joints, where we have quarter joint, knuckle joints for two rods. Okay, so we have joints, that is, say for example, we have two shafts. Okay, and we have to link these two shafts. We have to connect these two shafts. Okay, we have on both the ends, the first shaft is also cylindrical in diameter, the second shaft is also cylindrical in diameter. Now, how do we join them? Okay, now how do we join them? Okay, right. So in that case, these joints are very much needed. We are with making use of a quarter joint or a knuckle joint based on the conditions and other parameters. Okay, a suitable joint will be used to connect the shafts. Okay, right. So the third chapter in part B is couplings. Okay, so again, couplings is used for connecting shafts. Okay, so here we have different types of couplings. One is split muff coupling, protected type flanged coupling. Okay, flexible type coupling, and universal coupling. Universal coupling. I think universal coupling you would have seen, but may not be, you don't know the name of it. I think all of us would have seen this universal coupling. So when I take up this universal coupling, I'll explain what is a coupling and
Is that the one on trains, sir? Like between coaches, there is a coupling, right? Is
no,
that
that's not
the
a coupling. That is
universal?
a joint. That is a joint. The link that they use to join two coaches is a joint.
Okay,
So
it's not a coupling.
No, it's not a coupling. In couplings, it will be usually with the shaft where it has got some rotatory motion.
Oh,
Okay,
okay, okay.
so joints also we can use it for shafts. Okay, but in certain conditions we cannot make use of joints. So one example, okay, I'll tell that example now itself. So universal coupling we have seen, that is if you look at the trucks, okay, from the engine to the rear wheel, there's a shaft that will be connected. So when the truck is moving, we can see that shaft is been rotating. Yes, have you all seen this?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes. So if you look at that entire shaft, it will not be just cylindrical. In one portion, you will get a C shape. Two C, two C-shaped curves will be interconnected. Okay, you'll see some abnormality in the shaft. Okay, you will have a long shaft, then there will be a particular joint which will not be circular in shape, and after that joint again there will be a cylindrical shaft. So that joint portion is a universal coupling where you can see you'll have one C shape, then the other C shape, and both of them will be interconnected. Okay, so that's a universal coupling. Okay, so we need couplings especially to connect shafts even in turbines also. Okay, in powerhouses there'll be long shafts that has to be connected. So in all those places they will use couplings. Okay, right. So all these three chapters, keys, joints, couplings, is part B. Okay, again we'll have to answer one question, which will be for 25 marks. Okay, so you will have question number 1 and 2 from part A. So you can choose any one of the question. Okay, and they can ask anything out of these chapters. It can be section of solids, it can be orthographic projections, anything they can ask. Okay, and that will carry about 25 marks each question. Okay, and in part B, again they can ask to draw the any one of the joint or coupling, which will which will have question number 3 and 4. Okay, so out of that we'll have to answer any one question, so which will be carrying for 25 marks. Okay, right. So the next thing is about the part C, okay, which is a very important portion in the entire CAMD. Yeah. So the first thing is about we have certain little bit theory about the limits, fits, and tolerances. So what is this limits, fits, and tolerance? Just to tell it in simple way, if we have if we machine a material to get a cylindrical diameter, I want to manufacture uh, 10 pieces of cylindrical rods having 100 in length, diameter 20 Okay, right? So when we do that machining, okay, can we expect all the 10 pieces to have exactly 20 diameter?
No.
Right? So we will have some plus or minus, right? Some will be 19.5 some will be 20.3 diameter, right? So some small variations will be there, isn't it? So because of that reason, can we reject all of that?
No.
Right? It's very small difference, right? So so based on that, we cannot get exactly 20 diameter always. So some allowance will be given. So if the diameter of the shaft of that cylindrical part is somewhere between 19.8 and 20.2 it is accepted. If it is 19.5 diameter, it will be rejected. Okay, so those things will be given over here onto the drawing. What is the limitation that we can accommodate for? Okay, so those limitations will also be indicated on the drawing itself. So till now, whatever we have drawn in EGDL, 25 of line, yes, the line is going to be 25 we are always going to draw it for that. Okay, and we are going to mention only the dimension. We are not going to mention anything else. What is the tolerance that should be given? No, we have not used. But in machine components, we cannot do that. Okay, in machining components, usually it will always have with some limits, fits and tolerances that will be mentioned as per the requirements onto the part drawing itself, onto the drawing sheet itself. Okay, right? So the next portion that comes into picture is the assembly drawing, a very, very important portion in CAMD. Okay, so as per the syllabus, we have 7 assembly drawings. So what is this assembly drawing? To tell you in simple. So to tell you in simple, as you see, say for example, even in the orientation class, I had shown you one animation where a piston connecting rod is there, a piston, pig and bearing, piston pin, all these are being put together to form a piston and connecting rod assembly, right? So we have a connecting rod, then a piston, both of them has to be brought together, assembled and made a proper fit. So for that, the piston should be modeled, okay, in 3D environment. Then connecting rod should be modeled in 3D environment, okay. And then whatever the other links that are there, piston pin, say for example, piston pin or gadget pin is required, that will also be modeled. And then we have to go to the assembly mode, assemble all these parts. How should it be assembled? So assemble all these parts, right? So then we get a proper assembled view of the entire machine component. Okay, so that is assembly drawing. So say for example, if you take up even the screw jack that you use for whenever the car tires are being punctured, where we use a jack, right? So it has got different elements in that. We have the frame, then there's a square threaded rod for that, then there's a handle to rotate the rod, right? All these things have to be modeled and assembled together, right? So that's an assembly drawing. So we have 7 assembly drawings. One is a plumber block, then we have lever safety valve, then the third one is IC engine connecting rod. That's nothing but a connecting rod of an internal combustion engine. Screw jack, tailstock of a lathe, okay, machine vise, and tool head of a shaper. Okay, tool head of a shaper, right? So we have these 7 assembly drawings, okay, that we have to practice. And question paper for this part C, there will be 2 questions that will be coming in. Question number 5 and 6. So question number 5 will carry any one of these assembly drawings, and question number 6 will also carry any one of these assembly drawings. So you will be getting 2 assembly drawings, out of which you have to do the entire assembly drawing on sketchbook as well as onto the system, okay, within the stipulated time. You have to draw for any one of them completely, where it will carry 50 marks. Okay, one question, 50 marks. Please remember. Okay, so I'll tell you the entire thing now. The question paper pattern, part A, question number 1 and 2, 1 or 2, we will have to answer any one of them, which will be for 25 marks. Part B, question number 3 and 4, okay, out of this we'll have to answer any one, which will be again for 25 marks. And part C, question number 5 and 6. Out of this, we'll have to answer any one assembly drawing question, okay, which will carry for 50 marks, okay, which will carry for 50 marks. Just a second. All right. So very, very important is this. Is the assembly drawing. But to do this assembly drawing, we should have a knowledge of part A and part B, especially part A, orthographic projections, section of solids. Without understanding these things, you will not be able to understand or be able to do anything in assembly drawing. Okay, very important. Okay, so we'll have to be a little bit serious in this regard, because one question 50 marks. So if you don't do the assembly drawing, then out of 100 marks you're already going to lose 50 marks. Okay, and then all you are left out with another 50 marks. And can you assure that with that attempting only 50 marks you can pass in the exam? Can you? Hello? Right. So be a little bit serious with machine drawing, computer-aided machine drawing with this subject. If you start working from day one, yes, then it is not going to be a problem. You will definitely do it. Okay, right? So all I need from your side is to attend the classes regularly, listen carefully, pay attention, okay, and also to practice the problems. Okay, regular practicing is very much important. Okay, EGDL might be easier. Okay, but please don't think that CAMD is as easy as EGDL. There is a lot of difference between EGDL level and machine drawing level. Okay, they are totally, it's at a different level. There's a lot of gap. Okay, so you have to work hard on this right from day one. Okay, right. So practice the drawings that we teach you. Okay, and so that you will get familiar in drawing these things. Okay, so as of now, those who have computer systems, right, I would also recommend that you start drawing these things, practicing the drawings on Solid Edge. Okay, right, but all of you I want is that uh, is the drawing it on the sheet of paper, which all of you can do even during this online classes. It is not a problem. Okay, so all you need is a sheet of paper, okay, your geometrical box, okay, pencil, scale, eraser, and all these things. If this is there, okay, you can do it. Okay, right? Sketching shouldn't be a problem, because anyway you have a pencil, scale, rubber, geometrical box, paper, and all these things. So right from day one, please start drawing the things that we teach you in class. Okay, and those of you have the computer systems, last time you would have already had the Solid Edge software. Okay, and start do solving the problems even onto the system also. Okay, right. Yes, so textbooks for this. Okay, okay, so textbooks for this. Okay, so as usual for this subject, the examination will be for 3 hours only. Okay, uh, you have to do the sketching for all the solutions before computerization, before you go into the to do it onto the system. Okay, and you can make use of the instrument. Yes, definitely drawing instruments are required. Part A and part B only in 2D drafting environment. Part C we'll have to do, that is the assembly drawing, we'll have to do it using 3D environment, and then it has to be converted to 2D views. Okay, there's a different set of procedures for that we'll teach you when we do it on when we do assembly drawing. Okay, so textbooks is machine drawing by K.R. Gopal Krishna. Okay, the other textbook they have given it as N.D. Bhatt, machine drawing by N.D. Bhatt. Okay, right, and there are several other books for machine drawing written by different authors: Rambak Murthy, P.S. Gill, Siddheshwar, and so on. We would say that you at least get machine drawing by K.R. Gopal Krishna. Okay, the older edition. Okay, the older edition. Okay, go for the older edition. Okay, don't go for the new edition. Okay, new edition is this particular book. 1 second. Yeah, can you see this book? Right. So this is the new edition, computer-aided machine drawing by K.R. Gopal Krishna. Okay, this book, please don't buy this book. Better instead of this, go for the older edition. Okay, the same author, same title. They have written it in the previous years. That is, maybe you can take any older edition, maybe 98 or 2000 edition also. Okay, please buy that. This edition is. This was done in which year? 1 second. Okay, this is the 2017 edition. Please don't go for this. Whatever is this with this blue color wrapper, don't buy this book. There's another book, okay, which will be a green color wrapper, okay, which is the older edition, maybe 94 or 95 or even 2000. Go for that book, okay. Only that book is more than enough. We have all the things in that book, okay, rather than this book, okay. All right. All right. Yes. Any doubts? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Clear? Okay. So
Yes, sir. Yes.
yes. So let's go on to the next thing. Yeah. So I've discussed about the syllabus, the question paper pattern, and all those things. Okay. Right. So let us start with the subject. So let me handle the. Let me start off with the subject, that is, I'll start off with orthographic projections. Yeah. Okay. Yes, can you see the PPT that I've shared?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. All
Yes.
right. So yes, so I'll be starting off with orthographic projections first. Okay. Okay. So what are these orthographic projections? Let me start off with a little bit the basics of from EGDL. Okay. So to draw these orthographic projections also, we need the projection planes. Okay. So in this, where we are going to draw the different views of the object on different projection planes. So what are the different projection planes or reference planes that we have that we have already studied in the EGDL? Is the horizontal plane, right? Okay. Is the horizontal plane HP. Okay. Okay. And then the second one is the vertical plane. We call it all shortly as VP. And then the side plane or profile plane. So side plane can either be left profile plane or right profile plane. Okay. So horizontal plane, of course, all these planes are imaginary. Okay, because we need something. We need some plane for which we want to have the projection to be appearing on. Okay, right. So horizontal plane. So first thing, I'll also brush up about this HPVP also, so that it's easier to understand since we are doing it on online. Okay, so HP, what you can take is reference as the floor. Okay, the floor on which we stand or walk or whatever it is, the ground. Okay, is a flat surface. We can assume that as a HP. Okay, right. Now if we are sitting inside a room, okay, we have the four walls for the room. Okay, okay, the wall, we can consider the wall that is in front of us, okay, which is standing vertically, which is being built vertically, right? So we can consider the wall as the vertical plane. Okay, we can consider the wall as the vertical plane. I'll show you here. Okay, so here we have the HP, the horizontal plane, where we can consider it as the floor. Okay, the wall of the room as the VP. Okay, the vertical plane. Okay, now we can see that over here in the top left corner in this diagram, VP and HP, they both intersect in this particular place where we get a straight line, where the HP and VP are going to join or intersect. Okay, this yellow color line over here, which intersects, the HP and VP, is the XY line. Is the XY line. Okay, nothing but wherever we see in a room where this floor and the wall will meet, we have the corners, right? Okay, we get either a rectangular room or square shaped room. Okay, those edges is nothing but the XY line. Okay, is the XY line. We can assume it like this. Okay, right. Now coming to the next thing. Now, when we have an object in front of us, now you have your mobile or laptop in front of you, okay, and you have the wall of the room after that. So you are seeing the mobile which is in front of you. After the mobile, further on, you have the wall, okay, uh, right? So now what you're going to see on your mobile, where you have the mobile in front of you, right? And this particular shadow of the mobile, when you're looking from here, just like say for example, imagine that you are sitting in a theater. Okay, you are sitting in a theater. You are the viewer, so you have the screen in front of you. That is nothing but, let us consider, that is the VP. Okay, it's vertical, right? So let us consider the screen that is there in the theater as the VP. Okay, there's a projector which in the present in the projector room, that will be usually behind, okay, in the theater, from which rays of light is being projected onto the screen, where we can view the movie when it is being switched on and the movie is being played. Okay, so that is the projection. So in case, now when we come in between this plane of projection, that is the screen, and this projection light, okay, you can see that when you stand over there in between this, you can see your shadow onto the screen. Correct? Right? So what is actually happening over here is that when do you see that? When you see that the object is parallel to the plane, to the vertical plane, especially in this case, okay, and the rays of light uh, is perpendicular to the theater screen or to the vertical plane. Okay. Now, when do we get this shadow onto the vertical plane or to this screen onto the theater? Is that we get it once only when we are going to be parallel to this vertical plane, and when we are going to see this shadow when we are standing in front of the screen, right? When we are standing in front of the screen. Now let me get back to this. I told you about, now you have your mobile or a laptop in front of you. Now you are the observer. Okay, you have the laptop screen or the mobile screen in front of you. Imagine that as the object. Now when you look from by seeing the mobile or laptop in front, okay, when you look at it, the shadow of this mobile will fall onto the vertical plane or the wall that is there in the room, right? Imagine that you are seeing the mobile, or a ray of light is being projected from your eyesight. Okay, so it will fall onto the mobile or to the laptop, and further on, the shadow of this device will fall onto the wall that is there in front of you. Okay, so the wall that is there in front of you, you can consider as the VP. The shadow that falls onto the VP is the front view. Okay, so you will always get the front view on which plane? VP, vertical plane. Please remember this. Okay, I am just brushing this little bit in detail because you had to most of the classes on online in the last semester. So before we go into the orthographic projections, this understanding is very much important. Okay, so now let's go to the top view. Okay, let's go to the top view. Now you have your mobile or your laptop device uh, there in front of you. Now you start looking that from top, from the roof. Okay, right? So start looking it from the top. Okay, you can see a different view. You will not be able to see the mobile screen. You will be able to see the thickness of the mobile, or you'll be able to see the if you have a laptop, you'll be able to see the thickness of the screen, laptop screen, and you'll be able to see all the alphabets of the keyboard clearly, right? Okay, so when you look that from the top view, this particular view will fall onto the ground, which is the HP that we assume, right? So the top view will always be onto the HP, the front view will always be onto the VP. Okay, right? So please remember this. Okay, right. So now let me go back here. Yes. So different views. Front view. Okay. So when we have a front view, you're going to see the object standing in front of it. So the shadow of that will be projected onto the vertical plane, projected on VP. Right? Now when we go for the next view, top view, I'm going to look at the object from the top. Okay, so then this shadow will be projected onto the HP. So always the top view will be on HP, front view will always be on VP. Please remember this. Okay, we need this very much important in orthographic projections, and we need this in section of solids. Then we need this in couplings, joints, everywhere. Even in assembly drawings also we need. We have to understand this, because in assembly drawing we have to identify the drawing, which is the front view, which is the top view. They will not mention that this is the front view of the object, this is the top view of the object. No, they will not mention. Only the drawing will be given. We have to identify which is the front view, which is the top view, which is the side view. Then we should assume what is the part, how does it look, and we have to start the modeling. Okay. Right. So the next thing is the side view. Okay. So in side view or profile plane, we have two different things. One is the left profile plane, then the right profile plane. Now let us assume that we are sitting in a room, okay, with four walls. The wall that is in front of you is the VP. Okay, the ground or the floor is the HP. The wall that is there onto the right side for you, the right side, towards your right side, is the right profile plane. The wall that is there onto your left side is your left profile plane. Okay, the wall onto the right side, you can take it as right profile plane. The wall that is there onto your left side is the left profile plane. Okay. Okay, now we got these two planes. Previously we had VP and HP. Now we have got two more planes. Now let us see, when do we get the object to be projected onto right profile plane? When we will get the object to be projected on left profile plane. So if we have the object in front of you and we want this shadow onto the right profile plane, then the observer should stand onto the left side. Okay, should go onto the left side, see the object, and that shadow will fall onto the right profile plane, the wall that is there onto the right side. Now if you have the same object, that is there, and you're going to stand onto the right side, you're going to move onto the right side and look at the object. So this shadow of the object will fall onto the left profile plane. Okay, left profile plane. Okay, now, all right. So when I'll just summarize this. So we get the object, the projected view onto the right profile plane when we are going to see the object from left side. You stand onto the left side, you will be able to see the shadow onto the right profile plane. You stand onto the right side, you will be able to see the shadow of the object onto the left profile plane. Okay, so if you stand onto the right side, we call it as the right side view. If you're going to stand onto the left side of the object, we call it as the left side view. Okay, So left side view, you're standing onto the left side. Okay, object will be projected onto the right profile plane. You're going to stand onto the right side, or we also call it as the right side view. The object will be projected on left profile plane. Okay, right? So you stand on right side, you will get the object or the shadow projection of the object onto the left profile plane. Please remember this. Okay, this is also required in drawing, in all the drawings, orthographic drawing, project section of solids, and even in nuts and bolts, in almost all the chapters, and especially in assembly drawing also. Yes. Any doubts still here? Any doubts?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Right? Okay. All right. So yes. So next, let's go to the next slide. Okay. Now, how do we represent with alphabets for front view, top view, side view, and all those things? So for front view, each corner onto the draw of the corners that we draw onto the front view will be represented with a dash. We will have A dash, B dash, C dash, and so on. So if it is a line of AB, in the front view it will be represented by A dash at one corner, and the other end of the line it will be B dash. Okay, right. So if it is a top view, if it is only a point or any corner of all the corners that we have, it will be represented only with the alphabet A, B, C, D, E, all with small cases only. Okay, right. If it is a line in top view, then one end of the line will be represented with A, the other end of the line will be represented with B. Okay, if it is a side view, then it will be represented with double dash. So all the corners onto the left profile plane or onto the right profile plane will be represented by double dash. So it will have always carry A dash, B dash, sorry, A double dash, B double dash, C double dash, and so on. Okay, so please remember this notations also. Okay, yes. So next. Okay. Okay. So types of projections, this is not, this is only the classification that we have. So projections that can be parallel or convergence. Okay. We are always going to deal only with most of the parallel type of projections only, not with convergence projections at all. So in parallel projections, we have orthogonal, oblique. Oblique, we are not going to deal so much. We are going to go for orthogonal projections. Okay, and in that we have two varieties. One is the multi-view, the other one is the axonometric or the isometric. Okay, in axonometric, one of the sub-classification is the isometric. So this, what you see, the picture below this axonometric word, such diagrams will be given. And for this isometric view, we have to draw the multi-view drawing. That is nothing but the front view, top view, and side view. Okay, we have to draw this. Okay, they will give the isometric projection drawing. We have to draw the front view, top view, and side view for the given isometric drawing. Right. So yes. Okay. Second. Okay, all you need is only the first thing in this. We don't need the pictorial drawing or perspective drawing. It is not there in the syllabus. Okay, so as usual in front view, when you draw the front view, top view, and side view, we are going to draw it exactly to the object shape and size. Okay, we are not going to modify anything, no rough sketches over here. Okay, right, with neat sketches with its notations and with dimensions. Okay, all right. So yes, I have told you about VP-HP. Okay, this about inclined to perpendicular to HP, inclined to VP, all these things we require it in section of solids. There I will take it up. Okay, now it is not required for orthographic projections as of now. All we need for orthographic projections, yes, one small portion we require, I'll touch upon when I start that particular topic. Now it is not required. All right. So yes. Okay. So now say for example, we have in this top left diagram that we see in the in this particular slide, we have the HP, the floor, the wall in front of us, the VP, and they have taken the right profile plane, which we can see in the magenta color, okay, with pink border. Okay, so this particular plane, that is the wall onto the right side. Now it is a three-dimensional thing. Now we have to convert it into two-dimensional format because our sheet of paper is two-dimensional, right? So, and we are also going to draw all these three different views on a sheet of paper. So we have to arrange these three views in a particular manner always. So how is that going to happen? Is that the HP will be all these. For the next step is that the VP and the profile plane will be held as it is. Only the HP will be allowed to rotate in clockwise direction so that it is going to become in vertical portion. That means the HP portion is going to come below the VP exactly. So you can see the diagram or the picture below this onto the left side of the slide, bottom left side of the screen. So you have on top VP, then we have the line intersecting the VP and HP, which is the XY line, and below the XY line we have the HP. Okay, so the front view will be always above the XY line, top view will be below the XY line. Okay, because below the XY line we have HP and above the XY line we have VP. Yes. Then now coming to this, now we still have this right profile plane as it is. Okay, and still it is in three-dimensional form only. We have to convert it into two-dimensional form. So the next thing is that we'll keep this HP and VP fixed as it is. We'll keep this vertical pink line where the VP and profile plane is intersecting. We'll keep that as the center of rotation. And this profile plane will be rotated in anti-clockwise direction when we look from top. It will be rotated in the dotted arrow mark, dashed arrow mark that has been represented in this particular direction. So then what we will get, we'll have the VP first, and then to the right side we'll have, onto its right side we'll have the right profile plane, and below the VP we'll have the HP, right? Okay, so we have front view, then XY line below, then below the XY line we'll have top view, and beside the front view we'll have this vertical line which differentiates the vertical plane and profile plane. This vertical line is the X1, Y1 line. Okay, this also would have used in the projection of planes chapter when we did some of the problems. Okay, and after this X1, Y1 line, we have the right profile plane. Yeah, so looking at this as shown over here, with this arrow mark, looking in this direction, okay, how does it appear? So we have the last diagram onto the lower right side of the slide. So we have the XY line that is represented over here. Above the XY line is the VP portion. Below the XY line is the HP portion. Okay, so on VP we'll be able to get the front view of the object. Then on HP or below the XY line, we'll be drawing the top view of the object. And then after this, beside the VP, we are going to draw one X1, Y1 line. Okay. And after this X1, Y1 line, onto the right side, we'll have the right profile plane, where we will get the view when we look at the object standing from the left side. Okay, that is why they will indicated as LS. Actually, it is LSV, left side view. Okay, right. So this is how it will be when we have to draw top view, front view, and left side view, and left side view. If it is right side view, it is not left side view. Let us go for another problem. Let us assume the next problem they're asking right side view. Then what is going to happen? Okay, so we'll have VP here, on top of the XY line, HP below the XY line. Whatever you can see here onto the right side, the profile plane, this magenta color will be placed over here onto the left side. So first you will have the left profile plane, then a vertical line, x1, y1 line, and then we'll have the vertical plane onto the right side, and below the vertical plane we will have the horizontal plane. Okay, right. Okay, so yes, all our drawing is going to be only in first angle projections, nothing else. Okay, different countries follow different things. ISO standard is what we are going to follow. So we'll be using only the first quadrant, nothing else. So all I taught you till now is also only the first angle projection system only. Okay, so here in this next slide, let us see about the let's concentrate only on the first angle projection. Let's not bother about this third angle system at all. We don't require that. Okay, for all our drawings, we are going to use only first angle projection. Okay, so object here indicated in purple color. Okay, the maroon color over here is the vertical plane. Okay, and this sand brown color below over here, this particular square is the horizontal plane. Excuse me. And this bluish color onto the right side is the right profile plane. Okay, so when we look at the object standing in front of this from here, okay, what we can see, it is an L-shaped object. All we can be able to see standing exactly in front of it, we can see this length of this L shape. The height is quite lesser than this length, horizontal line. Okay, and this border only we can see. So please observe the movement of the mouse cursor. So where is it going? So the what is there that we can see in the front view is that if we start from this lower bottom corner, okay, lower left corner, from here we'll be able to move along the length of this object, then it ends there and it is going to go vertically upwards, which is the height of the object. Then here we come back, go down once again, and come back here and go down here where we reach the starting point. So only this thing, this L shape written in the reverse manner is what we can see in the front view. And looking in the front view, this L shape, whatever is the length and whatever is this height, whatever is this length once again, okay, all this will be projected over here onto the front view. Okay, so that same thing is represented over here in yellow color line. That will be the projection that will be getting onto the front view. Okay, that will be getting onto the vertical plane. Okay, now looking from the top, now when we look from top of this object, what can we see? We can see one small rectangle over here, and then we can see another kind of, it's not exactly a rectangle, another larger portion over here. So all we can see is the boundaries only that will be appearing onto the horizontal plane. So just follow the cursor once again. So I'll just start off from here. So we go.
So why are we showing the internal boundaries on the right profile plane?
I'll come to that. Okay. So
because it's an opaque, thing, right? So if you look at it from that side,
I'll come to that. Let me finish the top view. Okay. So here we can see the boundaries. What are the boundaries that we can see from that particular view? So here we are looking from the top. So we can see the boundary. Let us start from any one of the corner. Go in one particular manner. Either you travel in the clockwise direction or you travel in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay. So let me start off from here. So I'll just observe the cursor. So we'll be moving from here towards the length, along the length of the line. Okay, this is going to be vertically there. So this particular point and this particular point are going to lie in the same straight line. So you will not be able to see the length of this particular line. So then it's going to be this horizontal line over here, and then the width of this object. Okay, and come back here again. Here it is a vertical line, so these 2 points will intersect, and again we'll get only as a dot. Okay, and then along the length of this object here, and then it is not going to be further extended. It takes a different turn over here, comes back inside, and here and here. So we will be able to trace only these boundaries over here, and that is what we get as uh, the top view also, right? So if you project from every corner onto the top view, when you are going to draw the top view and connect these uh, projection lines one after the other, we'll be able to get the top view. And along with this, we have one yellow line that has been marked over here in between. Okay, that is because of this. When we look from top, we will be able to see this boundary also. We'll be able to see this edge, right? It is visible. So this is also going to come here as the onto the uh, horizontal plane, that is in the top view, right? Okay. Now let us go to the left side view. Now assuming that we have the object over here, we are going to stand onto the left side, okay, and view this object and view this object. So we are going to get the projection onto the right profile view. So in this case, now let us do the same. Let's follow the same procedure over here, whichever the view it is. So standing from here, what can we see? We can see the width of this object. Okay, let me take this. This is the length of the object. This is the width of the object, and this is the height of the object. Okay, so looking from the left side view, I'll be able to see the width of the object. Can I see the length of the object? I cannot see what is the length of the object because this edge is perpendicular to the uh, right profile plane. Okay, so any line that is perpendicular to that plane, we cannot see it. We cannot see the length of that line. We can only see the end of the line. Okay, right. So here we can see the width of the object and the height of the object also. So when we start tracing this, what will I get? So I can see this in two portions. So what is that portion? I can see the width of this. Let me take this top portion first for simple understanding. So I can see this line, then it comes down, and I can see the width of the object, and I can get it. So I'll get one rectangle. I can see this particular portion. I cannot see what is this thickness, and I cannot see what is the length of the object standing from here. So as of now, I'll be able to get this top rectangle that has been shown here onto the top side. Now coming to the bottom portion, what can I see? I can see the lower half height. Okay, whatever is the height of this particular slab. Okay, I can see this length. So just observe the cursor. Let me start off from here. I'll start from here, go above, go along the width. So it does not further extend. It has been cut. Okay, it is not a perfect rectangle. It has been cut. One portion, one square has been cut out of this rectangle. Okay, so I can see there's a vertical line. This line is going to be vertical to the plane of projection. So I can see only this corner. Then I will be able to see this particular line from here, go down, come back, and here. Okay, so looking from here, what can I see? I can see there's one rectangle over here onto the left side and another bigger rectangle onto the right side. Is that correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what can I see over here? Standing from left side, I can see a smaller rectangle and I can see a bigger rectangle, both placed one beside the other, adjacent to each other, right? So both of them have a common line intersection that is over here, right? Okay, it is not a single piece. There's a cut portion. There's a visible edge. So what will I be able to see when standing? I can see this edge, right? I can see this edge that is there in between,
but
separating the two rectangles.
if it is very well painted, like I mean, most of the machines when they are manufactured, they'll be very well finished, right? So
Yeah.
if you look at it from the right side, I mean from the left side,
Hmm.
shouldn't you, like if the lighting and all is proper, shouldn't the edges also become like almost
Okay.
invisible? Like shouldn't it appear as one big rectangle
Okay.
instead? I mean the internal boundaries should disappear, right?
All right. Fine. 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 So see, we make use of the concept of the lighting. Okay, just for our simple assumption, because say for example, when you take a photo, okay, when you take a photo, based on the lighting conditions, your photo is going to appear in different manner, right?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Correct. When you're standing in sunlight, when the sun is behind you and you take a photo of yourself, you will not be able to see your picture clearly. But whereas when the
Yeah.
light is in front of you, you will be able to see your face clearly when you take the photo. Even when you go to a studio or anywhere, if you see there when you stand for a photograph, okay, the light will be in front of you, correct? So that
Okay.
the light falls on your face and it is going to be clearly visible, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
So we are not going to deal too much with the lighting conditions over here. Where is the light going to be there? From which angle the light is going to fall? Will this edge really be visible? How dark this edge will be visible or not? What will be the paint color? No, we are not going to see all that. We are not going to see
Okay.
all that. Okay.
It's just a description.
Our job is to identify every edge,
Okay.
whether the edge is visible or not. Is there an edge or not in that portion? If it is there, yes. If it is visible, draw a dark line. That's all.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Okay.
Okay, we are not
Yes.
going to bother about the lighting conditions. We are not going to bother about the color, nothing. Okay,
Okay.
only we are going to see the boundaries. We are going to observe the shape, whether the edges are visible or not. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
right?
I understood.
Okay.
Yes.
So here now coming back to this, we have a one smaller rectangle on the left side, one bigger rectangle onto the right side. So looking from left side view, we will be able to see these two rectangles placed adjacent one beside the other, and there will be a common line separating these two rectangles. So that is what is drawn over here. So you can see that the rectangle, that is this height, the smaller height that has been drawn over here, and whatever is the width. So the width is from here to here, 1 plus another the second portion. So 1 plus the other portion, complete it, go to the height, and in between this you have this common intersection, right? So that is also being projected. When we project this, you can see this white line, right? You can see from every corner on this object, from the corners the white color lines are being projected and they are parallel to each other. That is the projection line. Okay, so when I project it from here, from this particular corner, okay, you will get that white color line till here, and we have here also, from here it goes over here and we get it. So we'll be able to see this straight line also. So that is why you will be able to see in the bottom half two rectangles. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, clear? Okay, so in orthographic projections, this is what we are going to do. They will give you the isometric drawing and they will ask you to draw the views for the different views. It will definitely be for the front and top view. Based on the diagram, you have to see the question or you have to read the diagram properly, whether they ask for right profile plane or left profile plane. Okay, based on that we'll have to draw. Definitely front and top view will definitely be there. Okay, right? Okay, so every time we are going to do this. All right, so okay, so yes, so here coming now let's go to this we have seen this diagram which is there onto the right side. Okay, and we have now drawn the front view, top view and right side right profile plane, that is the left side view. Okay, now we'll go for how to draw these things uh, onto the 2D sheet. So as I said, we'll keep initially the VP and the profile plane as it is. We'll only rotate the horizontal plane, so that this top view will be below the front view. So we have this green color line indicated as the XY line. So below this line we'll be writing the top view. That is the same diagram in the same manner. Okay, and front view will be writing above the XY line. Okay, and we'll also be drawing the right side onto the right profile plane. Okay, sorry, there is one mistake over here. Okay, all right. Okay. So just a second. Okay, okay. Yeah. All right. So second, there must be one line here. Yeah. All right. Now, how are we going to draw it on a sheet of paper or even onto the system? So this is the object that has been given, which has been indicated in green color. Okay. So first thing that we'll do is we'll first draw an XY line. Okay. We should have sufficient space to draw the top view, and we should have sufficient space to draw the front view also. Okay. I'll tell you how to find out whether you have enough space or not when I do the actual drawing. Yeah. So the next thing is that we have and we should also have sufficient space to draw the left side view also. Okay. So first thing, sorry, something is wrong. Right? One minute, 1 minute. Entire thing is different over here. All right. Okay, yeah. So the object is shown over here in green color. Okay, right. So when we look at this, starting from here, the front view from here, uh, we can only see the length and the height, which is almost like an L shape. So we'll write it onto the front view plane, the length and the height, and then go back here to draw this L shape to see the boundaries. Okay, right. So in top view, what can we see? In top view, we can see this portion of rectangle first. Okay, and then this one. So we'll be able to see the length, and we'll be able to see the entire width of the object. So this is the width of the object, and this is the length of the object. So here in this boundary, we don't have any object. It has been already cut. So thereby we'll be able to get only this particular shape. Yeah. And then when we go in for the left side view, we'll be able to see this height with two rectangles at the bottom, and above that a single rectangle. So once when we trace this outer edges, we'll be able to get this particular view that we have indicated over here, right? Okay. Right. So yes. So let me take up another simple problem. Okay. Another simple problem. So here, look, just observe the right side drawing that we have. We have a L-shaped block. Okay, where each surface is coated is with a different color. So looking from the front view over here, standing in front of this, for this object, they taken this as the front view. So what can you see here? We can see this gray color portion of rectangle, and above that we can see this larger gray portion of rectangle. So we can see two rectangles, one above the other. So we can see here the length and this particular height, the smaller rectangle, that is what is drawn over here. Sorry, is drawn over here in white color lines, and then above that this particular surface is horizontal, so it is going to merge. Okay, so we'll be able to see only this boundary, and above this we have this bigger rectangle also, so we'll be able to get this particular shape, okay, in the front view. Now when you go in for top view, what can I see? We can see the width of the object, and we can see the length of the object. Okay, so what surfaces can we see looking from the top? We can see the surfaces which are colored uh, in golden yellow color, right? We can see this golden yellow color smaller rectangle, and we can see this adjacent to that a bigger square or a rectangle which is in golden yellow color. So when you project it in top, you will be able to get only this particular portion. We'll be able to see this edge, then here and this, and then from here this is a vertical line, okay, which is vertical, which is perpendicular to the horizontal plane. So they'll coincide, and we can see this particular edge of the bigger square that we have over here. So both put together, which is adjacent to each other. Once when you look from the right side view, so this particular shadow will fall on left profile plane, the wall onto the left side. Okay, what can we see? We can see only the surface or the surface which is with pink color. Okay, we can see this the mirrored image of L shape. Okay, so we can see the width of the object, height of the object, and go back and finish this L shape, right? So we'll be able to see only this L shape, and this is what will be projected onto the right side also, right? Okay, so to know a few things, in front you always will be able to see the depending upon, say in this case, if we take this convention, this is the front view, this is the top view, and this is the right side view. Then here will be in front you will be able to see the width and height. So that is what is given here. In front you will be able to see the width of the object and height of the object. Now going to the top view, we'll be able to see the length of the object and width of the object. So here we'll be able to see, okay, here they have used the word depth. Okay, we'll be able to see the depth of the object and width of the object. So width of the object in front view and top view will be the same. If you look at this, if you look at this projection line, which is in red color, light, thin red color lines, it will be the same. Okay, width of the object is same in front and top view. It cannot change. Okay, it cannot change. Only our views are changing. Okay. Right. So when you go to right side view, what can we see? In right side view, we can see the depth of the object or length of the object and height. Right. So length of the object. Right. So this one and height of the object. So this height and this height in the front view and in the side view will be the same. Okay, will be the same. It's the similar case in left side view also. We'll be able to see the length of the object and height of the object. Yeah, right? Right. Right. Okay, any doubts still here? Any doubts? Any doubts? Yes, any doubts, guys? Just a second. Okay. Yes, so those of you those who have not entered your name and USN number, can you please enter it? If you have entered it, well and good. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Right, so all right, so yes, okay. Okay, yes, let me go to this. Okay. Okay. Now let us take up this first problem. Okay. As of now, can you see the screen? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So of course dimensions are not given. First let us understand the object. Okay. Then I'll take you for the same problem how to draw it. Okay. Right. So yes, this will be the isometric drawing that will be given with the dimensions. Okay, and they will also indicate with the arrow mark like this. Like they'll put this arrow mark and then they'll indicate FB. Then they'll put here arrow mark from top, and they will indicate it as TV. That means top view. And then from anywhere from here they'll put it as side view, SV. Okay. So we have to first indicate, first identify this. Okay, when we take this as the front view, what are the surfaces that is visible? Now we have plenty of surfaces for this object. So one in pink, one in green, one in bluish color, one in light greenish color, right? So we have plenty of surfaces. What are the surfaces that I can see standing in front of the object? So looking in this direction from the front view, which are the surfaces that I can see? So I will be able to see the surfaces which is perpendicular to me. So just like now, you are holding your mobile or you have your laptop in front of you. what can you see? You can see only the screen of your device. Okay, can you see the thickness of the mobile, or can you see the thickness of the laptop screen? Looking in front, you cannot see, right? You cannot see this particular portion, the thickness, the green color portion, we cannot see. We can see everything that is there exactly in front of us. That is, whichever is parallel to our eyes. Okay. So standing in front of the object, the surfaces that is parallel is what? This pink color surface one, which is like a step. Okay, just observe the mouse cursor. I'm tracing that portion. Okay, and this steps over here. So this surface is parallel in front view, and then the second portion is over here. I'm just tracing it once again along the edges of this. So we'll be able to see only these two portions both merging together. There now we cannot see in front of you what is this width, nothing but the thickness of our mobile. Okay, or we cannot see this particular surface, or we cannot see this, or even this green color or bluish color. No, we cannot see all the surfaces standing in front of the object. All right, so we'll be able to get only this. So what do we need? We need the length of this line, length of the height. Okay, we need the height and we need the length, and then subsequently these length of the line we need to have, so then we can draw it onto the vertical plane, which will be our front view. So if you project it, all you have to do is what? Project every corner, project it from every corner. We'll be able to get the height, then the length, right? And this particular height here and here, here and here, and subsequently the other portion also. Yeah. So for everything, we should know the length of the line over here. Okay. Right. So the next thing, so front view we know. Next, top view. What are we going to do? We are going to do this. We are going to look from top. So when we look from top, what can we see? What are the surfaces that is parallel when we look from top? Now, when I look from top, I can see only the top portion, that is the thickness of your mobile or the thickness of your laptop screen. Okay, right? So that is being indicated over here in green color. So we can see this green color L shape, we can see this green color square and this particular green color square. So these things is what we can see. So we'll start projecting from every corner. Okay, all the four corners, we get one rectangle, fine. And then we can project it from this particular corner also, this corner, and from here also. So we'll be able to see these two squares also. Okay, so that will be lying here. Okay, in this particular portion. So we can see this L shape over here, and these two squares placed adjacent one beside the other. Okay. Right. So looking in from side view, we can see this particular light bluish green color or turquoise color in L shape, and this dark green color squares or rectangle in the side view. Okay. So what we have to do, what they asked over here, front view, top view, and left side view. See, the person is standing on left side of the object. So the shadow will appear on right profile plane. Okay. So if we have to draw right profile plane, so first thing will be, first draw an XY line. Onto the left side of your page, above the XY line, we will have front view. Then onto the left side of that, below the XY line, we'll have the top view. And then draw one line, vertical line. After the front and top view is drawn, draw one vertical line, okay, which will be the X1, Y1 line. And then onto the right side, after the X1, Y1 line, we will write the left side view. Yeah, we will draw the left side view. Yes. Any doubts till here? Any doubts? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Right? Okay. Right. So, right. Fine. Okay. So, yes. So let me take up this problem. I'll just show you how to do it on the system. Okay.
Sir, is it okay to use the software provided for students by Siemens?
Which software are you going to use? Siemens have the
The
many
same kind of
softwares.
software, but some extra tools are also there in that, sir. But it's for
Yeah,
students only.
extra tools are there. You can use it for practicing purpose. I will not say no, but the thing is that you have to become. You'll be familiarized with that particular software. Okay,
Like it's
but
the
when
same
you
thing, sir. I mean, whatever is there in this, same thing is
ah
there. But
no, what is
other
the
than
name
that,
of that
like,
software? Can you name that software?
yeah, it's named as Siemens Student Friendly something free uh,
Uh-huh.
2D and 3D rendering
Okay.
software. It's from
Uh-huh.
Siemens,
Okay, no,
basically.
whatever
I'll
it is,
send.
I have no objection. The only problem that you'll be facing, I'll tell you, you'll be
Okay.
now using this software and you'll be practicing on that software. Okay, but what will happen is that once when you come to college or even during your exam, the software that you're going to use will be Solid Edge. So you will
Okay.
not see that extra tools. You'll see the other line arc, all other commands also, but it will be situated somewhere else, which you have not worked on.
Yeah.
Correct. So you'll
Yes.
face some difficulty over there. Though you may know to use it. Okay, there'll be some time lag because you have to
Yes,
get
sir.
adjusted to the software. No,
Yeah.
correct. That will be the
Yes.
problem. Otherwise, it's not an issue, right?
Where to
I would
download this one, sir? I couldn't
Yeah,
find this one.
better to download this. Better to download this. Last semester already Anand sir has shared this software on Google Drive with you all, right? So please
Okay.
install that. Download it and install it. Okay.
Sir, I couldn't find it actually. Can you
Yeah,
resend it in the link?
I'll ask him to send it once again. Okay. Right.
Yeah. Can
Okay.
you send the link in the main group also if possible?
Yeah. We'll send that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
I'll ask Anand sir and I'll get that link. I'll either ask Anand sir or I will send the link in WhatsApp or to your mail. Okay. So that you
Yeah.
can download the software. And I recommend all of them to use Solid Edge version. Okay. For all your practicing purpose. Okay. Right. So that will
Okay.
be in one shot. You'll be getting directly prepared for your exam. Okay, so that you
Okay.
don't face any difficulty in your exam. What happened? All right. Okay. So yes, I've taken the same diagram that I just showed you in the PPT. Okay. So let me also show you how to draw it in Solid Edge, as well as the same techniques you are going to follow to draw it on a sheet of paper. Okay. There's not going to be too much of difference at all. Right? So that is why I'm using this. Okay. So the same object that I showed you over here, the same object. Can you see this PPT? Hello? Yes or no? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So the same object here we don't have in the PPT with dimensions. Okay. In this solid edge, in this image we have it with the dimension. I'll show you the object. I'll zoom in. Okay. So here, so look here, the question will be like this. The isometric view of an object is as shown in the figure, so and so. Draw its front view, top view, and left side view looking along the direction of arrow. right? So this is what will be given. So they'll give you this diagram with the dimensions. They'll also give you the arrow mark. So this arrow mark is here with, this is the front view. Okay, if this is the front view, this is going to be the top view from here. And what have they asked? Left side view. That means you have to stand towards the left side. So from here, you have to go towards this side from here. Okay, towards this where you have the 72 mm line. Here you have to stand and look at the object. That is what they've asked. So now let us go to this. Now let us draw the front view, top view, and left side view. That means left side view means what? You're going to stand on left side, okay, and the object is going to fall on right profile plane, okay, right profile plane. Okay, so now I'll teach you how to. Now first we have to observe which are the views that we want. Left side view, sorry, the front view, top view, left side view. Okay, left side view means what? We should have, so the drawing will come on right side, right profile plane. That means we want space on right side. Okay, so let me draw the XY line first. Okay, let me draw the XY line. Okay, let me draw the XY line. Okay, yes. So next, okay, now let me zoom in. Okay, I'll draw this. I'll draw the X1, Y1 line also. Okay, so here onto the top left side portion is for the front view. Bottom left side portion is for top view. Top right side portion is for the right profile plane. Okay, if you look at this, see front view, top view, they've asked left side. That means the drawing will come on right side, right profile plane. So I need space on top right side. Okay, right. Okay, so now let me draw the drawing. Okay, now we'll just zoom in. First we'll study the drawing. Okay, so front view, what is the length? 104 mm of this line. Okay, right? Then what is this height? After reaching this right side corner, what is this height? It is same as 48. See this height? 48 mm. So this height here, 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 everywhere it is 48 only. So it is for 104 by 48. 104 is the length, height is 48. Okay, so let me draw that. Okay, length is 104 mm, angle 0 degrees. Okay, then, so length I've drawn. What is the height? 48, angle 90 degrees. Okay, so I've drawn this. Now, next. Now, I will be able to see only this portion, right? So I'll just come back to PPT. So, okay, slightly different, sorry. Okay, let me see where it is. I think it was there. Yeah, so we have drawn this length. What about this distance? Okay, I've drawn 104 mm, height 48. Now I want this distance, right? I want this distance. I want this distance here. Okay, so how much is that? That is 21 mm. They have given it over here. I'll be able to see this 1, 2.
Sir, is that 21, sir? Or?
4, 5, and 6. Yes, it is 21. It is 21 mm. Okay, right? It is 21 mm. Okay, so I'll be drawing it over here. 21 inside from here, 21 mm. Okay. Okay, then come back. Till where? Till where should I come back? Okay, so I don't know. So let us see that. Okay, till here I have to come back. It doesn't go completely below. So what is this distance? So has he given it here? No, he hasn't given it here. He has given it here, 16 mm. Each step is for a height of 16 mm. So this height is how
16,
much?
sir.
16 mm. Okay, right? So what we can do is that we can also draw it from here, or what we can do is 48 minus 16. How much?
32. 32.
So 32 minus 90, you can give it here only. So here it is, see here, and then where does it go? It goes from here to here till the end. So, sorry. Yes, to till here and join it. That's all. So one portion we have done. Okay, one portion we have done, but look at this carefully. When I look from front view, I can see this L shape. I can see this rectangle. Okay, I
Yes,
can
sir.
see this rectangular portion, right?
Yes,
That
sir.
means 16 plus 16 plus 16. Three steps I'll be able to see. First step, second step, third step. Correct. So this
Yes.
is where this is onto the left side. I have to draw this, right? So left side I have
Yes.
to draw. I'll draw that. So what I can do is I can go for 16 mm, height 90 degrees. Yes, I can stop there. I can go for another 16 mm, angle 90 degrees. So two lines, join it here and just go here, join it here. Isn't it correct? Yes or no? Correct, no? Right? So then I'll go for dimensioning. I'll give this dimensioning 104 mm. This will be 48 mm. This will be 16 mm. This will be 16 mm. And this will be 21 mm. We'll give all these dimensions. Right? Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll go to projection line. I'll project from every corner. Yeah, I'll project it from every corner. Yeah, then project it from here also with thin lines. It's a projection line. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll start drawing the top view. In top view, what can I see? In top view, what can I see? I can see this particular L shape, which is for a length of 104 mm, and here,
Sir,
and this
L
21
and
mm,
two triangles, sir.
two
Sorry,
rectangles.
rectangle, sir.
Rectangles. One, two, three things, right? So I'll draw that. So already this is for 104 mm. So I'll just start drawing it from here. So I'll first draw this particular line. So it will be here. Okay. And until it meets this projection line. And then from there, what is this distance? How much is this? 72. Correct. So I'll draw it for 72 mm. Okay, and close it. Yeah. Just get dark so that you can see. Right. And apart from this, I have this line. Okay. Right. So what I can do is from here, I'll draw this line. Yeah. How much? 48 minus 16. Correct. 48 minus 16 is so much. Have they given that? Let me see. Wait. Let us see what is the width. Okay, they have given it as, sorry, 24. Okay, you can't see it clearly. I'll just show you here. It is 24 here. Okay. Yeah, so this width is 24. Each one of them is 24. So I just redraw that. From here, sorry, the overall length is how much? The width of this object is 72. 72 minus, okay, each step has got a width of 24. So 72 minus 24, right? So till here, angle 90 degrees, okay, and here. Right. So if you look at this, as of now, I've drawn only this rectangular portion, this L shape. Okay, this L shape I've drawn. Now to draw the next thing, where is it? From here, I have to go for, or else what I can do, if I'm doing on the software, I can go to offset command. I can select only this particular line, offset by 24, single, select only this line, make a tick mark, offset here, okay, over. So if I just measure it, I'll just show the measuring. This is 24, this is also 24. 24 into 3 times, how much? 72, right? This length is already 104, which we have already indicated, so we don't need to indicate it over here. Okay, so this will be the top view. Okay, now going to the side view, how are you going to draw the side view? The side view that we'll be drawing, yeah, will be at, you have to first draw a 45-degree line, project it, draw the projections first from every corner from top view. Just bear with me for 2 more minutes, I'll finish the class. And from the front view also will project it from every corner. And we have this corner, so we'll project this also. And from here also. Okay, now how does the side view appear? Left side view. Okay, we'll be able to see the steps. Width is 72, height is 16, 24, 16, 24, 16, 24. This particular portion we'll be able to see first. And then this light gray color one. Okay. So yes, so it starts from here. The base is over here, so the intersection point. This is already for how much length? This length is 72. So that means this is also 72. When it comes over here, this will also be for 72. Then we can see here the height 48. What is this height? 48. So till here 48. Okay. Join the corners. Yeah, and of course we'll have to draw this also. We have to project it from every corner. All right, so let me make this dark, the 4 lines, the borders that we have drawn, since it is visible. Okay, yes, so looking from side view, what can we see? We can see this 16 mm height, right? So starting from here, this is 16 mm. It goes back inside like this, step of 16 mm, and this, right? So this is how it is going to appear. So what can we actually see? What can we actually see? 16 mm starting from right side corner, height 24 mm depth, 16 mm, and then 24 mm depth, 16 mm height, 24 mm depth. So I'll come back over here, starting from right side, 16 mm height, 24 mm depth, 16 mm height, 24 mm depth, 16 mm height, and here. Okay, and then automatically this is going to fall into picture, right? So this is what we are going to have. Okay, right? So and then finally, okay, then finally we are going to give. It's better that you give it in the beginning only because you people will forget. I don't forget it because I am used to it. Give the x1 and here xy line, y1 line. Okay, and here it will be VP, here it will be HP, and this will be what plane? Here, third one.
Right profile plane.
Yes,
RPP.
RPP. Correct? Okay. So this ends your problem. Okay. And here you can give the angle. Right? Is that clear? So this is how we are going to draw the problem. So if you do this correctly, and if the same question is asked, and if you do this, you will get the full marks, right? Okay, right? Is that clear? So look here, I'll just brush up on one small thing. The first thing is that see 104 mm is here. Here also this is also 104 mm only in top view, but we don't indicate it. No repetitions of dimensions. Okay, no repetitions of dimensions at all. Okay, if it is there in any one of the view, leave it there only. See, in the side view I have not mentioned anything. Why? Because all the dimensions are here only. If at all we want, we can do 1 or 2, it's okay. But otherwise it is already there. 72 mm, this is going to be 72 mm. This height is 48, that is already indicated over here, right? What is this width of the line? That is already here. Then what is the height of this line? That is also here. So everything is there. Is that clear? Okay, right? Yes, any doubts? Any doubts? Okay, right? So I'll stop here for today's class. Okay, and I'll post the same problem along with that 1 or 2 more also. I'll send it in the WhatsApp group. Please start drawing it from today only. Okay, please start
Yes, sir.
drawing it from today only. Right?
Yes, sir.
You put the heading as orthographic projections. Okay, you just put the problem number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if there is space, you can write the question. No need to write this isometric drawing at all. You need to draw only this front, top, and side view. That's all in your sheet of paper. Okay,
Can
you
we
don't
draw
need
it
to write.
in previous year EGDL notebook?
Yes, if you have, yes, it is better that you can draw. You can.
Sketchbook.
But the previous year EGDL, I don't recommend that, because once you come back to college, you will have to submit those books. So if at all you want, you can take a Xerox of that Xerox sheet, Xerox it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, right? You can take a you have that portions, the sheet of paper where you did planes, solids, and all now with the square grids. That sheet you can take a Xerox. Otherwise, also you can write it on plain sheet of paper, no problem. Not an issue for me. Okay, you can start drawing it on a plain sheet of paper, plain A4 sheet of paper. Start drawing it. Okay, put the heading as orthographic projections. Okay, write your on top, write your name, USN number, batch. Okay, and put page numbers at the bottom right corner. Right. Okay, and just write the problem number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and draw only the front, top, and side views exactly as how I have shown you over here. Okay. Is that clear? You should have XY line, BP, HP, X1, Y1 line, front view, top view, dimensions, everything. Is that clear? If you want,
Yes,
please
sir.
take a screenshot of this. Keep it for your reference to draw. Is that clear? Okay. Right.
Yes,
So,
sir.
thank you. I'll send the some 2 or 3 questions in the WhatsApp group. Please do it. I think we have the next class on Monday, so we'll continue on Monday. Is that clear? Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you
Okay,
all.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.